Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you the most talked about track of the year didn't come from a studio, a label, or even a secret session? It came straight from behind bars. Because just when the world thought Lil Durk had gone silent, a mysterious audio snippet exploded online. Grainy, emotional, and perfectly timed with his birthday behind jail walls. The internet went wild. But one question kept echoing louder than the song itself. Was this track leaked? Or released? Fans swore it was an accident. Critics called it manipulation. And insiders? They whispered about studio setups smuggled into cells, about record labels buying silence with scandal. Because how does a man serving time manage to drop a track that sounds this deliberate? It wasn't just a song, it was a statement. And maybe, just maybe, it was part of a bigger plan. So before you believe the hype, remember, in the world of fame and controversy, nothing leaks by accident. This is Spillora, and tonight, we uncover the truth behind the jail cell track that turned Lil Durk's birthday into a global headline. The internet has been fooled before. Fake leaks, publicity stunts, staged drama. But this time, something feels different. Because the man at the center of this chaos isn't some random rapper chasing clout. It's Lil Durk, the self-proclaimed voice of the streets, now the voice echoing from inside a jail cell. And the question shaking the entire hip-hop world right now, did his new track leak from prison, or did he make sure it did? The story begins on his birthday, October 19th. Fans were expecting silence, maybe a quick Free Durk hashtag, a few sentimental posts. Instead, they got chaos, a mysterious audio file that dropped online, labeled simply as the birthday snippet. Within hours, it was everywhere. No artwork, no official upload, no label announcement, just one chilling verse, raw and emotional, recorded with background noise that sounded too real to be faked. The voice? Definitely Durk. The message? That's where the debate started. He spoke about regret, loyalty, betrayal, and something that sounded dangerously close to confession. Lines like, "I told them I'd change, but some ghosts don't let go." It wasn't polished, it was haunting. The internet exploded. Fans called it the realest thing Durk ever dropped. Critics said it was a PR masterpiece disguised as vulnerability. And somewhere between the sympathy and the suspicion, one question refused to die. How did this track even leave the jail? Officially, inmates don't have access to recording studios, let alone digital distribution platforms. Yet here we were with a perfectly timed drop that synced with Durk's 33rd birthday. Some said it was a leak, others said it was a stunt. But those who listened closely heard something more. A man trying to control his story from inside a system designed to silence him. Now, Durk Derek Banks, better known as Lil Durk, isn't new to controversy. He's built a career on the edge of chaos, arrests, allegations, endless feuds, and the tragedy that still haunts his legacy. The death of King Von. Every time the noise dies down, something drags him back into the headlines. But this time it wasn't about guns, gangs, or fame. It was about a song, a few minutes of audio that felt too perfectly messy to be accidental. Let's rewind. Before the leak, there were whispers. Sources inside the music industry claimed Durk's team was working on a surprise drop. Something to remind fans he's still the king, even behind bars. Anonymous insiders hinted at deals being restructured, label meetings about post-incarceration content, and legal loopholes allowing artists to pre-record material before transfer. Sounds neat, right? Except for one tiny problem. This track didn't sound pre-recorded. It had echoes. It had air. It had that hollow cell reverb you don't get from a studio mic. One sound engineer on X, formerly Twitter, posted a thread claiming the acoustics matched those of MDC Los Angeles, the facility where Durk was reportedly being held. His post read, "That's not a studio. That's concrete." And that's when the real theories started. Some said Durk bribed a guard to sneak in recording equipment. Others claimed he recorded it through a phone during a monitored call, which, if true, would mean every word was approved before it went out. But the wildest theory? That it wasn't leaked at all. Durk himself orchestrated the accidental release to control the narrative around his incarceration. Think about it. Every major artist who's fallen from grace tries to reclaim their story. Some do interviews, some write books. Durk apparently drops a jail track on his birthday. It's poetic, too poetic to be coincidence. Bloggers called it the inmate rollout plan. Rumor had it that Durk's label, scrambling to keep his name hot while he awaited trial, greenlit the idea of a controlled leak. The plan? Make it look like an underground find, let the fans go crazy, and ride the wave of sympathy straight to the charts. But there was a problem. King Von's mother. When the snippet hit social media, she didn't stay silent. She posted a single line on her page. Even locked up, he is still playing with fire. No names, no tags, but everyone knew who she meant. That one post turned the internet upside down. Suddenly, the snippet wasn't just a leak. It was a confession. A ghostly echo of guilt wrapped in melody. Within 24 hours, reaction videos flooded YouTube. Creators slowed the audio, analyzed lyrics, and swore they heard Durk admit to knowing more about Von's death than he ever said publicly. One self-proclaimed lyric investigator broke down the entire verse, pointing out supposed subliminal messages, references to the night the lights went out and watching brothers switch sides. Now, none of this was confirmed, of course. But in the world of viral media, truth doesn't matter, engagement does. And this was engagement gold. Even mainstream outlets jumped in. Headlines screamed, "Lil Durk's jail audio sparks new questions." Leaked track raises eyebrows among investigators. And fans claim jail recording was a confession song. Suddenly, a 3-minute audio clip turned into a national story. Behind the scenes, Durk's legal team scrambled. Anonymous insiders claimed they were reviewing the implications of the leak, worried that the song might violate court conditions. But others suspected the lawyers weren't panicking at all, that they knew exactly what was happening, because they helped orchestrate it. An industry PR manager, speaking off-record, told one outlet, "Leaks like this don't happen by accident. They're campaigns in disguise." You think a billion-dollar label can't control what comes out of a federal facility? Please. The conspiracy only deepened when fans noticed that within hours of the snippet surfacing, Durk's verified Spotify profile updated, showing increased traffic, but no new upload. How do you explain that? Someone had access, someone had authorization, and someone wanted this moment to look like an accident. And then there was the strangest twist of all. A supposed alternate version of the snippet appeared online days later, slightly cleaner, with a second verse that some fans claimed was cut from the first upload. This new version included a chilling line. They said don't talk, but silence feels like guilt. That line alone reignited the storm. Some said it was fake. Others swore it was real. A fan from Chicago claimed to have downloaded the original file before it was taken down, and said metadata showed it was created on October 17th, 2 days before his birthday. Meaning, it might have been planned all along. Still, the biggest question remained. Was this Lil Durk's genuine voice from jail, or was it another carefully constructed myth built to keep him relevant? While fans argued, the blogs profited. Every video, every tweet, every theory was another million views, another $1 million in ad revenue. Durk, willingly or not, had become the internet's favorite mystery. As one journalist put it, whether he dropped it or not, the snippet did what every song dreams of. It made people care, but not everyone was celebrating. Inside MDC Los Angeles, officials reportedly began an internal review to find out how a federal inmate's voice ended up on the internet. Rumors spread that a correctional officer had been suspended. Other sources said no such review existed, and that the story itself might have been planted to keep the buzz alive. Still, one truth stood above all. Every minute this snippet stayed online, Lil Durk's legend grew. Fans started calling it the ghost track. They clipped it, looped it, remixed it. In just 2 days, it had more plays on underground platforms than some artists get in a lifetime. And yet, for all the speculation, all the theories, all the headlines, no one, not the label, not the lawyers, not the family, officially confirmed where the audio came from. That's what made it dangerous. It lived in the gray area between myth and marketing. And that gray area is where Durk has always thrived. As his fans debated, his critics dissected, and his enemies celebrated, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a leak. It was a moment. A perfectly timed, perfectly chaotic reminder that even locked behind steel doors, Lil Durk still knew how to control a room he couldn't even see. But that was only the beginning. Because what came next would make the snippet look small. Because what came next would make the snippet look small. The blogs thought they had the story. They didn't. The fans thought they knew the truth. They didn't. Because the real question wasn't how the song leaked. It was why. And when that answer started to surface, the entire industry began to shake. The why is where every conspiracy gets messy, and this one was no exception. Because when a song leaks, it's usually an accident. But when Lil Durk's jail snippet leaked, it felt like a setup or a signal. To who, though? That's where things start getting dark. Multiple insiders began whispering that this wasn't just about music, it was about money. According to one unverified but suspiciously detailed post from an industry source, Durk's label had been facing internal panic since his incarceration. Sales were dipping, sponsorships were freezing, and public interest was shifting toward new names. The leak, they claimed, was designed to humanize him again, to make fans remember the emotional, broken man instead of the accused criminal. And it worked. Streams went up, his name dominated every headline again. It was like someone flipped the narrative switch from inmate back to icon. But here's the catch. Some people inside the system claimed it wasn't the label behind it. It was Durk himself. A former associate claiming to have worked on his early promo campaigns told an underground blog, "He's not dumb. He's been sitting in that cell planning his comeback like a chess game. He knows what buttons to push." This wasn't a leak. This was marketing from lockdown. That statement alone set off another storm. Fans who once believed the snippet was real now started dissecting it like detectives in a crime thriller. They zoomed in on the pauses, the tone, the emotion, trying to decide whether this was a man speaking from pain or a performer delivering a product. Then came the second hit. Just as the debate reached its peak, another piece of audio surfaced online. This one wasn't as clean, muffled voices, background noise, a phone dialing tone. But one thing was clear, it was Durk's voice again, speaking to someone. The line that stood out? "I told them to wait till the 19th. It'll hit harder." If that was real, it was the smoking gun. The date matched perfectly with the snippet's release, his birthday. Was that just a coincidence? Or had Durk literally predicted the drop himself? Media outlets jumped on it instantly. One headline read, "Lil Durk predicted jail leak days before it happened." Another, "Birthday confession or calculated stunt? Durk speaks from the inside." Even mainstream entertainment networks started quoting unnamed sources close to the situation. And if there's one thing the internet loves more than truth, it's mystery pretending to be truth. Behind the scenes, King Von's mother reportedly broke her silence again. According to online reports, she was furious, not just because the snippet reopened old wounds, but because it seemed like Durk was still manipulating her son's legacy, even from jail. A screenshot began circulating where she allegedly texted a close friend. "He's playing the victim again. Same story, different cell." Whether real or not, that line went viral. It made the leak feel like more than just a PR move. It made it personal. The fan base split down the middle. Hashtags like "Time Free Durk" and "Stop Using Von" trended side by side. YouTube commentators milked the chaos with titles like "Durk's Emotional Manipulation Explained" and "The Jail Snippet That Divided Hip-Hop." Meanwhile, anonymous sources kept feeding more fuel. One claimed to have seen emails between Durk's management and a ghost producer who supposedly mixed the track before it leaked. The producer's name? No one could verify. The email chain? Blurry screenshots, but the timing was too perfect. Then came the alleged financial angle. An investigative blogger, known for uncovering shady record deals, dropped a bombshell thread claiming Durk's label had quietly filed a copyright claim after the leak went viral, meaning they were now collecting ad revenue from every repost. The supposed leak had turned into a business move worth hundreds of thousands in under a week. Was it exploitation or strategy? Depends on who you ask. Some fans called it brilliant, others called it disgusting. But either way, one thing became undeniable. Every person involved was making money off a man sitting in a cell. While the internet debated, a new twist surfaced. Someone claiming to be a prison staffer at MDC Los Angeles went public through a hidden voice call on a gossip podcast. They said, "Let's just say nobody gets equipment in here without someone looking the other way." That one line changed everything. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about a leak, it was about corruption. Rumors exploded that Durk's team might have paid an insider to sneak in recording gear, or maybe even just a better phone line for cleaner audio. The idea that an international superstar could outsmart federal monitoring was exactly the kind of story people wanted to believe. Every news outlet ate it up. Meanwhile, Durk's silence only made things worse. He didn't confirm, didn't deny. He let the chaos cook, and that silence became his weapon. The less he said, the louder the world talked. Then came the bombshell. A journalist from a mid-tier entertainment site claimed to have obtained internal label memos referring to the snippet as Campaign Alpha. The memo allegedly described a strategic release coinciding with the artist's incarceration milestone. In other words, a plan to leak, mask it as accidental, and drive sympathy streams. The document's authenticity? Never proven. But it didn't matter. The headline wrote itself. Leaked or released. Inside Lil Durk's jail birthday marketing plan. The same line that would become the title of this entire controversy. As the noise spread, other artists began chiming in. One Chicago rapper said in an interview, "They're turning jail into a rollout. That ain't street, that's Hollywood." Another tweeted, "You can't fake pain like that unless you're acting." Every opinion added fuel. Every reaction made the fire bigger. The snippet, once a mysterious piece of art, had now become a symbol of manipulation, of power, of how blurred the line between reality and marketing had become in modern hip-hop. Even the feds started to notice. Anonymous legal insiders claimed investigators were reviewing whether Durk's jail privileges had been violated by unauthorized communication for commercial gain. That phrase alone became a meme. Fans joked, only Durk could get indicted for dropping a verse. But behind the jokes was tension. Because for the first time, Durk's empire didn't look untouchable. Sponsors began reconsidering partnerships. A shoe brand quietly pulled his name from a campaign. A music festival postponed his performance, pending legal outcomes. And while the business world stepped back, the fan base doubled down. They flooded platforms with edits, remixes, tributes, calling the snippet proof that real art can't be silenced. The track became a legend, with or without official confirmation. Still, one thing was clear. The leak wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Because what people didn't know yet was that there was another clip, a longer one, a full version, sitting somewhere on a hard drive, waiting. An anonymous Telegram account posted a message that read, "If you thought the snippet was deep, wait until you hear the verse they buried." Was it bluff? Was it bait? Nobody knew. But the internet went on high alert. Fans started scouring forums. Hackers claimed to be tracking the original upload. Some even offered money for access. The idea of a part 2 became an obsession-level rumor. At this point, Durk's silence had transformed into a spectacle. Every missing detail became evidence. Every coincidence turned into conspiracy. The snippet wasn't just a song anymore. It was an investigation, a movement, a storyline too wild to be real, but too entertaining to ignore. And just when it felt like the internet had exhausted every theory, a new message appeared, this time not from a blog, not from a fan, but allegedly from Durk's own inner circle. It said, "You think it was leaked? Wait till you find out who leaked it." That single line flipped the entire story upside down. Because if that was true, it meant the leak didn't come from Durk, the label, or even the jail. It came from someone much closer. When that cryptic message dropped, "You think it was leaked? Wait till you find out who leaked it," the entire internet froze. For weeks, people had been arguing about whether Lil Durk leaked his own track, or if it somehow slipped out of the jail system. But no one imagined the third option, that the real leak might have come from someone inside his own camp. That one sentence shattered everything. Within hours, speculation exploded. Names started flying. Old collaborators, ghost producers, engineers, even family. Everyone became a suspect. Blogs ran with headlines like, Durk betrayed from the inside, and the mole behind the birthday leak. One site even claimed the source was an ex-crew member seeking revenge for unpaid royalties. Of course, no proof, no receipts, just chaos. But that's the thing. Chaos sells. Chaos. But that's the thing. Chaos sells. Anonymous insiders began whispering that the insider wasn't a crew member at all, but someone from King Von's old circle. According to them, this mystery person somehow got access to Durk's files before his incarceration. Early drafts, demo vocals, voice memos. The snippet, they said, was one of those recordings, leaked deliberately on his birthday to embarrass him. Whether true or not, the story was too perfect to ignore. The internet didn't ask for evidence. It just picked sides. Within days, hashtags like Inside Leak and Betrayed by His Own began trending. Fans created charts mapping out possible suspects, complete with fake timelines and photos circled in red. It looked like a digital crime board straight out of a Netflix docuseries. Reaction videos, think pieces. Even podcasts jumped on it, each claiming to have exclusive insight into who might have leaked the birthday snippet. But the most chilling rumor came from a supposed hacker who posted on a dark web forum, claiming to have access to unreleased Durk material, not just music, but audio messages and private voice notes. They said the snippet was just a sample of what's coming next. That post was deleted within hours, but screenshots spread everywhere. Suddenly, everyone was convinced this wasn't over. As the theories multiplied, Durk's label finally broke its silence. A brief statement appeared through a verified PR channel. "We are aware of the unauthorized distribution of unreleased material. Steps are being taken to identify the source." That was it. No denial, no explanation, just a carefully worded line that told fans everything and nothing at once. The silence only deepened the mystery. Some thought the label was protecting someone. Others believed the statement was staged to keep attention high while the next drop was being planned. And then a new layer emerged: money. Financial reports showed that streams for Durk's older catalog had skyrocketed 300% since the leak. Merchandise sales tripled. Even jail-themed fan art and shirts were trending online. What started as a mystery was now a marketing phenomenon. Every outlet, from gossip pages to mainstream platforms, was profiting off the scandal. And if the label was earning too, why would they stop it? That's when the story took its strangest turn yet. A journalist for a mid-level entertainment blog claimed to have obtained direct messages from a verified producer associated with Durk. In them, the producer allegedly admitted to leaking the snippet intentionally after a falling out over payment. He wrote, "They thought they could ghost me. I showed them what real ghosts sound like." Screenshots of those messages went viral instantly, but within hours the producer denied everything, calling them AI fakes. The damage was already done. Now the narrative was simple. Durk didn't leak the song, but someone close did, out of revenge, greed, or guilt. The twist made the story bigger, darker, and far more personal. Every interview, every tweet became evidence in a public trial without a courtroom. And then came the most unexpected voice of all. A rival rapper from Atlanta, known for his past beef with Durk, dropped a freestyle that included the line, "You talk from the cell, but your boys talk louder." The bar ignited a new wave of controversy. Was he confirming the insider leak? Did he know something the public didn't? It didn't matter. The verse alone was enough to fuel another week of headlines. By this point, the scandal had become entertainment. Fans weren't even asking if the snippet was real anymore. They were waiting for the next twist. Think of it. A song supposedly recorded behind bars had now turned into a multi-chapter saga of betrayal, corruption, and conspiracy. And it was still trending. Meanwhile, inside MDC Los Angeles, things reportedly got tense. Rumors claimed Durk was furious, not at the label, not at the blogs, but at someone in his inner circle. He'd allegedly cut communication with multiple contacts, refusing phone calls except from his lawyer and immediate family. A source close to the situation told one outlet, "He's not talking to anyone. He's focused on finding out who did this." Whether that source existed or not didn't matter. The quote sounded good enough to believe. Then, another twist hit. A short, low-quality clip surfaced online showing a man, blurred, unidentified, claiming to be the one who leaked the snippet. In the video, he said, "It wasn't about money. It was about truth. People needed to hear him the way we did." The video spread fast, was deleted even faster, and no one could verify its origin. But for the internet, it was gospel. Fans flooded the comments with theories. Was he a former engineer? A close friend? Maybe even someone from King Von's side? At this stage, it didn't matter what was true anymore. The myth had swallowed reality whole. Every time someone tried to clarify the story, 3 new rumors replaced it. Even law enforcement reportedly got involved, investigating potential bribery and contraband smuggling inside the facility. A leaked memo, probably fake, definitely viral, claimed that an officer had been suspended for unauthorized access to inmate communications. The IKE narrative was now completely out of control, and that's when the second snippet dropped. Yes, a new one, longer, cleaner, with a haunting intro where Durk's voice says, "You thought I was gone. I never left." The internet erupted. Theories about who leaked it multiplied overnight. Some believed it was Durk's final revenge, that he deliberately allowed the second leak to drown out the chaos of the first. Others said it was another inside job, part of an escalating war within his camp. Regardless, the reaction was instant and explosive. The new clip trended across every platform, earning millions of plays before any takedown could happen. Fans dissected every line. Critics called it a masterpiece from confinement. Even his rivals had to admit, the man knew how to own the moment. In the chaos, one overlooked detail emerged. The upload time on the new snippet? 3:33 a.m. Fans noticed immediately. 3:33, his 33rd birthday. Coincidence or hidden message? You already know what the internet decided. Nothing about this story was a coincidence, and now the cycle has come full circle. What began as a mysterious leak had evolved into a cultural moment. Every theory, planned release, insider betrayal, ghost marketing, merged into one messy, magnetic narrative. Lil Durk had turned silence into spectacle. But while the world debated, leaked or released, something deeper lingered beneath the noise. The reminder that in the digital age, truth isn't about proof. It's about perception. A soundbite can rewrite history faster than any verdict. In the end, the question wasn't just who leaked the birthday snippet. It was whether the world even wanted the truth, or if it just wanted the thrill of the mystery. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the story stands. Because if this was a stunt, it worked. If it was betrayal, it backfired. And if it was genuine, then Lil Durk just became the first artist in history to drop a hit from behind bars and turn a leak into a legend. So maybe the real answer is this. It was both. Leaked and released. A move so chaotic it could only belong to a man who's built his entire legacy on blurring the line between survival and strategy. But one thing's for sure. This story isn't over. Because where there's smoke, there's always another verse waiting to drop, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the madness behind Lil Durk's jail birthday snippet. A leak, a mystery, and maybe the most genius marketing accident the industry's ever seen. But here's the question that still burns. Was this really an inside betrayal, or the boldest PR move of the decade? Did Durk outsmart the system from behind bars, or did someone finally outsmart him? And if there's another snippet waiting to drop, what else is the world about to hear? Because make no mistake, this isn't just about one track. This is about how far fame will go to stay alive. About how a single soundbite can turn a prison wall into a recording booth and a leak into a legacy. Now it's your turn. What do you believe? Was it leaked? Was it released? Or is there something darker, something bigger, still playing out behind those bars? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and don't forget, this is Spillora, where we don't just report the news. We dig through the noise, pull back the curtain, and expose the story behind the story. Hit that like button if you think we just scratched the surface. Subscribe if you're ready for what's coming next. Because this tale isn't over. And trust me, the next twist is closer than you think. You're watching Spillora, the home of untold truths, viral mysteries, and the kind of stories the industry doesn't want you to hear. Stay tuned. The next leak might just break the internet. Next leak might just break the internet.